When you come up from the Championship, and there's always the odd one. Like Sheffield United this year. Who saw that coming? Nobody saw it coming. But on the whole, the promoted teams, generally, what they come up with isn't enough to survive. And Norwich have tried to do it on 5 occasions to pretty much not buy anything, not spend any money and try and survive. And for the 5th time, it's gone wrong again. And don't expect it to change. They've got a model they work off of, and they'll stick to what they do.
Finally, Stevie, of course, today saw the passing of Jack Charlton. It depends, I suppose, what generation you grew up in as to how he was in your world. For example, my father's generation, part of that team that won the World Cup in 1966. For me, I knew him best, really, as the coach of the Republic of Ireland, famously, of course, doing so well with them in the '94 World Cup. This is someone that you must have interacted with quite a bit during your time, Stevie.
Well, not personally too much. I've bumped into him on the odd occasion and whatever, but I always heard all the tales and all the stuff from the likes of John Aldridge and Ray Houghton and all the boys that played with him in Ireland. And they all loved him. You know, he had this Yorkshire strength about him, but he actually was very much a player's manager. Now, the way he set his teams up, you had to do what he told you, because if you didn't, it didn't matter who you were, whether you were John Aldridge or Ray Houghton or Liam Brady, if you didn't do what he said, he would just take you off. And so they had huge respect for them, but they loved them as well. I remember the tale Aldo told me when he came back, he had actually stayed over after a game and was coming back after the team. And he said he went into a pub. And of course the guy recognised John and said, he said, I had Jack Charlton in here last week. And he said, aye, great. He said, here, let me show you something. So the guy took him to the bar, and behind the bar, there was a cheque. Just with an old nail sticking right in the middle of it, at the back of the bar. And he said, yeah, Jack Charlton was in here, he said. I'm keeping that cheque. And Aldo told me that Jack wasn't so daft, you know. He was a tight old Yorkshireman, so every time he went somewhere, and he went to a bar or a restaurant, he always paid by cheque. Because he knew that whoever owned it wouldn't cash it and would stick it behind the bar so everybody can see it and he could tell them that Jack Charlton had been in his pub.
Very good, very good,
bad.
Stevie. I tell you what, social media can be rubbish at times, but there are some great Jack Charlton stories similar to that that have been doing the rounds over the last 24 hours. Of course, a man who won the World Cup in 1966 with England, played his entire career at Leeds United and was so successful and so revered as the coach of Republic of Ireland.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.